Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's video is going to be a tool haul video. That's where I go over several items all within one video and talk about the key features, where I bought them, how much they cost, how I plan to use them, those kinds of things like that. And then I kind of hit the highlights of whatever that specific tool is, because some of these, they got quite a few features. I would have to make probably its own review video, but maybe I can answer whatever questions that I don't cover in the comment section below, or if there's enough stuff out there that needs to be known about it, maybe I will make a specific video about it later. If that's something that you guys want, you can let me know that as well. So some of these were sent to me by companies for free, so that's why I am marking it paid promotion. I'm not being paid to talk about it any specific way. I can say whatever I want to, but I just want to let you guys know that I did get a couple of these for free. I'll mention those as I bring them out. A couple of them were sent to me by subscribers for free as well as gifts, so I really appreciate that. And then a couple things are some things that I picked up on Amazon. So again, I'm just going to go over the main details, share with you why I bought them. Let's go ahead and jump into this tool haul. So first up in this tool haul is from Veto Pro Pack, but this actually came by way of Matt HMM, subscriber and good buddy on the channel. This is the Veto Pro Pack SC45. Y'all probably seen tons of videos on this already. Basically, it was that free tier 2 bag option. If you bought something from Veto at a certain price range, you could get this for free. I was talking back and forth with him. I told him I was thinking about getting another CT tote just to get this for free. I didn't have a lot of interest in it, but then I watched Timinator the Toolman's video on it, and I thought, I don't know, I could probably use one of those, and I hated to miss out on it. But then came the pack out rolling drawer box, some other things that I spent some money on. I ended up not getting one. He picked up a couple of these over the course of the free bags, and he decided he was going to send me one. So again, really appreciate it. Essentially on the outside, you've got this small pouch with the magnetic clips. I actually really like this magnetic option. I hope they can incorporate this in some of the bigger MP pouches. I don't know if the weight would hold up as well or what, but essentially this is really just like the MPX that I've got right here. It's a very close as far as the pocket layout and all those kinds of things. The MPX might be slightly bigger on a few of those pockets, but this one's also not stretched out, and I still haven't stretched out the one that came out on my SPMC. So again, essentially you have a small pouch. I like this action right here. I would probably even rather have this over the MPX as far as the clip and all that kind of stuff, but that's part of it. So again, this comes in at like 90 bucks. So it's kind of sad if you didn't get it for free to spend 90 bucks on something like this. But when you look at how much the MPX pouches are, and you're getting one of these, and you're also getting this right here. So again, this snaps in. Again, in case you haven't seen any of the videos, you can just slide this in this slot, and that kind of attaches magnetically. You don't have to wear that if you don't want to. Also have two D-rings here, and then a pocket right here. If you didn't want to use it for this pouch, you could put some other stuff in this as well. Also have a little loop here that you could run something through if you wanted to. Other than that, we opened it up, and again, I haven't even played with this. It still has the tags on it, the whole 9 yards. I'm actually going to cut that off right now so it's not kind of in the way. But if you're interested, there's a code, but I'll put a link in the description as well. So back side of it here, you have this carabiner that you can clip on there. I'm assuming you could probably take this off and maybe clip it through here as well if you wanted to. And then you also have this clip. One nice thing about this bag is that it has this hard bottom that you can have right here. So if you set it down on something like this, it's kind of like having the bottom of your Veto bag as far as the weather, as far as you could set that down in some water and it's not going to wick it up into the actual thing itself. So open up this zipper. I think this is where it's really nice. This is kind of what I saw on the videos I watched that kind of made me think about getting it, because if you wear this as a pouch, you put your tool pouch on the outside with some tools on it, but then you can open this up and hold something else. So whether it's bits, whether it's a couple other hand tools, maybe you got some kind of testing equipment, something along those lines, this thing basically opens out, but it doesn't flop all the way down, and you can zip that open, let that open up, put your tools in there. And then the other nice thing is you can actually open it all the way and open it flat if you want to. And then whenever you shut it again, that Velcro kind of connects back with itself and goes back to that original position. So you don't have to sit there and kind of line up that Velcro all the time. I don't know if that's going to last over time if you do it a ton. Like if these are eventually going to wear out and start flopping over or something like that, we'll just have to see. My guess is with it being Veto, probably not. But again, I think that's the biggest thing. And whenever I saw that in some videos, I thought, well, I guess I could actually wear that on my hip, maybe put my bits things like that in it. Or if I'm running specific testers and I just want somewhere to put it, you know, you could even zip it up this far on both sides and maybe put some testers and stuff to where you can slide them in and out of there and use it kind of like a pouch, and then again still have some tools out there on the outside as well. Again, I'm not gonna load it out right now. I may do a review video for this one in particular a little bit later and how I load it out, or do a SC45 loadout. I just picked it up, that's why I'm sharing it in a tool haul. But in case you haven't seen it before, it's hard for me to believe that you probably haven't. If you're watching my channel, you probably watch a lot of other people's that actually have this and have done review videos as well. But the SC45, thanks to Matt HMM, that is something that I picked up this week. Next are two things that I picked up based upon my loadout of my MCTP that I just posted a review video for. I ended up using a couple things within this bag that caused me to have to go back and buy some things that I already owned, but they're both great. You know, if I'm buying them for a second time, that means I really like them. One of them is this Railer Magmat strap. This one is that smaller version. It's the kind that's kind of like you have a carabiner on it as well. It does come with the carabiner, should be down in this bag. And again, in tool haul, sometimes I'm just opening them, talking about them as I open them. I just got this week as well. So this one is the smaller version. Where I use these is inside my MCTP. I actually put this inside of the pouch right there. That allows me to have basically a magnet on the inside of my bag. Well, I have normally been running one of these inside of my Atlas vest, and I really like it for my Atlas vest because it fits down inside the pocket nice. So because of that, I ended up buying another one of these. So again, these run you $22. I've got lots of magnetic mats, but by far this is probably my most used because it's the smallest yet most versatile. The strength on it is crazy. If I take a pair of pliers or something like that, I mean, it will hold a pair of diagonals all day long. Like there's a pair of Klein diagonals. I mean, it's on there, not going to come off. I use this all the time for whenever I'm putting like ceiling fans, light fixtures, things like that. Throw it up on the ceiling fan, start throwing all my screws on it. Works out great. That's why I definitely want to keep one of these in my vest. But since I put one in my bag, I ended up needing to buy a second one. So again, I can't say enough about these. I'm bringing it back out in this tool haul. I've got a video for it, but just to show you guys, you know, whenever I talk about something in a video, it's not because I'm just talking about it. If I really like it, I'm going to tell you, and this is one of those things that I really liked, and I picked up another one here recently. So the next thing that I picked up is also from Railer, and it is for my MCTP. So over here on this side, the side pouch, this is the side where I keep my dedicated main drivers, my USB driver, my main pliers. So this should be the main thing I get into. And then I also have the Vera Toolcheck Plus. This is that Christmas advent calendar size right here. Well, inside of this, again, I love the Railer bits as far as the hex bits. I put these in my small screwdriver, the little ratchet right here, other screwdrivers. So I put the entire metric set back here. That's typically what I run into in putting together furniture, stuff like that. But up here on the front, I wanted to put my main SAE sizes, but up here on the front, they're 2-inch bits where all my other Railer hex keys are basically the 1-inch size. So I picked up these. The part number on this is R2H20B2CG, 2-inch SAE and metric hex megabit rail. So this is going to run you like $18, $19, something like that. I can't say enough about the Railer hex key sets. Like I said, I basically put the 1-inch version of these in every single bag because this takes up way less room than a set of Allen keys, but yet I can also put them in so many tools. So that's what I like about these. So I've already got the entire metric set inside of this tool check, but I'm going to go through here, pick out the main hex sizes I use, like 1/8 inch and all those kinds of things. And I'm going to essentially swap out these 2-inch bits up here in the front with some of these 2-inch hex keys and put my main SAE sizes up here. So that way my entire hex set will basically be inside of here. So that's why I picked up the 2-inch set. Again, I bought tons of the 1-inch set of these. I always have the 1-inch set of these in every single one of my bags as my Allen keys. But that's why I picked up a 2-inch set, was specifically to work with this case right here. And that's why that's something else that I picked up here recently. So next was also something sent to me by a subscriber, Robert Wiseman. He has made these for the M12 installation tool. He's also got a video that goes in crazy good detail, shows everything possible that you could use this thing for. I'm going to put a link in the description because there's no way I'm going to cover all that in this video. But again, there's no reason for me to even really talk about it if I can point you to that video. It pretty much tells you everything you need to know. So he did mention in his video, I love my M12 installation driver, probably one of my most used tools. You can see it's got quite a bit of wear on it. Well, the number one thing people don't like about it sometimes is the forward and reverse. I don't mind that at all. I actually prefer it. The other thing is it is a little bit of a tippy tool. I typically leave mine laying on its side or clipped onto me in some form or fashion. But if you are somebody who sets your tools down, you know, it's a little bit dangerous in the fact that it does that. Well, he has created these. They come in black, so you can see the black here, also the red, but these are also two different variations. But essentially, you take your belt clip off, and then these just snap onto the tool. And then now they've given you a much bigger base, definitely stable, not tippy at all. I mean, I don't think I could tip it over unless I just really smacked it. But then on top of that, you still get the original magnetic feature right here. That's still available for you to put, you know, drill bits, stuff like that on if you want to. But he's also added extra magnets over here on the side, so you can end up putting quite a bit of stuff on here. You could probably put a whole drill bit set on both sides if you wanted to. And then on top of that, you also have some bit storage right here. So if you want to take some 2-inch bits, slide those down in there, and they don't get in your way. You can kind of see here, there's a certain point in there where they kind of snug up. It's not going to get in the way of my fingers, even if I hold it this way, but I actually hold this tool like this. So they're down far enough, they're not going to get in my way. So essentially, he solved the stability problem. I think that's the main reason behind this, but then he's also just given some extra storage with it as well. So this version right here works with the smaller batteries. So if you run smaller batteries, which is what I typically do, I run the smaller batteries. You can also take this one off and then use it for the bigger batteries as well. That's what the other option's for. So if I take out the smaller, put in a bigger base battery, you can see now the height of it's weird, and now it's going to tip forward. So this version right here slides on same exact way, levels that out, gives you that stability, gives you all that extra magnetism right there. Again, you still have this, you have the bit holding in this one right here, right there, as far as some extra bits. And they also both come with this option here. That is a tray just for you to store extra stuff in. Maybe you want to drop your fasteners or something there. Also has some more magnets. He actually showed putting it on a wall and then using a drill bit for this to catch like your debris and stuff. But these just slide on right here, and it's just some extra storage space. So the one thing I was kind of a little bit like, I don't know if I'd want to use it or not because I've got to take my belt clip off, but he also took care of that as well. So essentially you take this piece along with the screw and your belt clip. He's got a hole built in right there that you will basically put this on, line it up with your belt clip, and then screw that back on through there, and you'll still have your belt clip as well. So the not having a belt clip was going to be a big downer for me, and then I saw that he had those pieces in there, and I finally looked to see what those went to, and that's what that does. So again, I'm going to put a link in the description. Appreciate it, Robert, for you sending me out for these to test. It definitely fixes the stability issue if you're a person that wants to set your tool down, and then especially if you're using this on a workbench or something like that all the time. It's just more space for you to be able to store bits, drill bits, screws, all those things, and it lays flat. That's why I feel like it's going to be a good fit for some of you out there. But again, I can't remember what he's calling it, but I'm going to put a link in the description. If you're interested in it, make sure that you go check it out. But it's something else that I've just recently got here this week. So next up, we have a flashlight. This is the Thrunite Defender. They did send me this one for free. This is one of those products that the company sent me, so I'm just letting you know that up front. I did not buy this, but again, they're not paying me to put it in this video or anything like that. If I just covered up that name and kind of showed it to you like this, you're probably going to say, is that an Olight Arcfield Pro? And that's because it looks a whole lot like the Olight Arcfield Pro, which I did have. I don't have that to do a direct comparison. I ended up giving this away to a subscriber who had his tools stolen, so I can't like bring it out and kind of see what the exact differences are. But I actually just watched a video by Sam over at Project Pine Hills. He's got a very good video comparing this to the Olight Arcfield Pro. So if you are interested in it, you might want to definitely go check out his video before you buy it. Pretty much similar features. You know, this has the UV green laser and the flashlight. Well, this one has the same exact thing. You've got UV, green laser, flashlight. This one does have a lockout spot. I don't think the Olight one had that, although that could get knocked in your pocket just the same, I guess, but still nice to have it on there. So if I press the button, there's your UV, scroll over, there's your green laser, scroll over, there's your flashlight, and then I can move it over to that lock position and it won't come on and off. Other than that, pretty much all the same features. I do know that this one claims 1600 lumens on turbo, whereas the Olight Arc Field Pro only does 1300 lumens on turbo. But other than that, the rest of them are pretty much the same. I think it's 420 on high, 95 on the medium on the Thrunite versus it is 100 on the Olight, and then it's 15 on low, and then 1 on Moonlight or Firefly is what they call it on the Thrunite version. But again, features wise, pretty much identical. Price is where the difference comes in. So the Olight usually runs you like $100, whereas this one is $75 normal price, but right now they've also got a coupon, so you're getting down to $60, so $40 cheaper. I feel like that's a very good value, because in my hand, I feel like this is basically the same. It might be a little bit smaller even, if that's a better idea for you, or that's a better fit for me anyways. I prefer it to be a little bit smaller. I feel like it's a little bit smaller than what the Olight was, but the build quality still feels good. It is USB-C charging right there, so it does have the battery indicator that lights up. I've got it unlocked out, so let me go to the light, turn it on. You can see I've got all 4 bars right there. And I think if I remember right, those change colors based on to let you know if the color changes, to let you know that percentage of battery that you have. Also has the magnetic base down here at the bottom. Not very strong, but the Olight one wasn't crazy strong either. Like it's one of those where you put it on something, as long as it's not moving and, you know, dancing around, it's going to stay there. But if you put it like in your van or something and you go traveling down a gravel road, it's going to fall off. You can pretty much guarantee that, but the Olight does the same exact thing. So again, features wise, identical. Price wise is the main difference. I'll show it to you here in the dark. So in the off position, if I press and hold the button, that's going to get me into that Firefly mode, that smallest amount of lumens. Not going to be able to see a lot. It basically just lights up right in front of you. Press and hold. There's low, medium, high, and double press will get to turbo. So that's the 1600 lumens right there. Then if I triple press, I will get into that strobe mode. We'll turn that off. I'm going to flip it over to the green laser. So I press the green laser. There that is in the dark. Then I'll also turn the lights on. There is the green laser with the lights on. And then I'll swap back to the UV light. So there is the UV light. I do feel like the UV light on this might be brighter. Again, I don't have the Olight to compare right next to it, but this is one of the brighter UV lights that I've used on a flashlight. So I do like it. Here is also an example of the light on underneath of a sink swapped over to a UV light to show you that staining. So that's kind of how you would use a UV light like this, but that's all the settings on the Thrunite Defender. So overall, not a bad light. Again, Thrunite Defender, something else that I picked up in my tool haul here recently. Last but not least, and this was also sent to me by Sigman, it is a laser level CMS02. So again, I didn't buy this when they sent it to me. It is essentially a 4-plane laser of theirs. I have reviewed a couple of their other lasers. I gave one away during a giveaway. This one's the one I keep in my truck. It's in my pack out drawers. I get this one out more than any other laser that I use. It's the CM701. I absolutely love this thing because of its compact size. Works really great. Well, essentially, this is a 4-plane laser. So on this one here, I've only got 1 horizontal and 2 verticals. On this one here, I've got a horizontal here at the top. The 2 verticals just the same, but I also have another horizontal down here at the bottom. So I'm going to get a whole nother line a lot closer to the bottom of my level. That comes real handy whenever you're doing subfloor, things like that. So there's lots of good uses for a 4-plane laser. Now this comes in at $199. It costs quite a bit more than maybe the other ones, but you get a lot more things in the box, and it's got a lot more features, which I'm going to share with you as we get into it. But first, let's talk about what you get in this box. I guess I shouldn't call it a box. I guess I should call it a case. You can see the handle there where you could carry this. It's got a zipper that's all the way around. It's kind of one of those soft sunglassy type cases is what I always call them. Inside of there, you're going to get the laser level itself. You also get 2 of these batteries. There is the information on the battery if you want to look at that. That's 2600 milliamp hours, 7.4 volts. You can charge these multiple ways. So you can take the USB-C cord they provide you with. You can plug it directly into the battery up here, plug that into a charging block, charge it in that way. Or you can also have the battery inside the tool. Open this up right here. That accesses USB-C as well. and you can charge the battery through that port. This does come off fairly easy, so if you work outside, you need to make sure that you keep up with this. Mine actually has already came off my 701, but I work indoors only, so I just don't even put that back on there. But that does come off fairly easy, so just to let you know that. So you do get the laser. Again, you get 2 batteries, so you can be charging one, using the other, that kind of a thing. USB-C cord. You also get a remote control. I'll show you how that works in just a minute. Again, I'm not going to go crazy on every feature on it. I'm going to show you what you get in the box more than anything. I'll show it to you in action, but I'm not going to go over every single detail. You get this piece here. So this is more if you want to adjust that vertical line up and down while you've got it laying on the floor. So if you had that sitting there, put your laser on it, you can now adjust micro up and down, more so for using this bottom laser for leveling subfloor or something like that. You could use it with that. You also get over here a metal bracket that works with this one, and then you get this green target card, which is okay. I always recommend buying the Milwaukee green target cards. They are by far the best. They're definitely worth the money. And then this is actually fairly good. Sometimes the difference in price is because of accessories. This one has your magnets back here on the back side, so if you mounted this somewhere, you can attach it like that. Pretty strong magnets. You probably heard that snap. It's actually fairly hard to even get off there, to be honest with you. I don't think you have to worry about that falling. Or you can also put a screw through here, put it directly onto some wood framing. Lots of adjustment on this. You've got your adjustment up and down. This right here spins this around to kind of adjust your vertical lines. This here adjusts that whole thing back and forth. And then this one here adjusts the whole thing in and out. So lots of adjustment on this one. This is actually fairly good. Most of the time, these cheaper lasers, they don't come with very good accessories. This one actually comes with some decent stuff, in my opinion, that you could use the 3-plane laser with. So that's pretty much what you get in the case. Now let's talk about the laser itself. So I've changed the lighting in here a little bit. You're probably going to see some more shadows, but I did that so that you'll be able to see the laser. So again, to use the battery, you're just going to open the battery compartment here, put one of your batteries in. I don't know if this is the one I charged or not. I guess we're going to find out. And now you've got the laser on. I actually didn't have it turned off, so that would be the off position. Now if I've got it turned on, it's going to come on. You can see vertical line there, horizontal line there, another horizontal line over here, and I've also got 2 vertical lines. So tons of lines. So you've got square right here, all 4 directions. Also, that from here up, you would see an X up on my ceiling. So you got a plumb bob as well. Again, a 3-plane laser pretty much does it all for me, but then a 4-plane laser is just an additional thing. And the biggest thing would be, again, if I'm needing to level something up off the ground, right over there with that Sigman I am now. Let me get a tape measure real fast just to see how far off the ground I am. You're looking at 15 millimeters off of that. So if you need adjustment down to 15 millimeters, that's where it's going to get you. Or if we go over here to inches, we're looking at basically about 5/8 of an inch up off of the floor. So again, you either have to have a 4-plane to get that close, or it's a difference of being 5/8 of an inch or 4 7/8 of an inch off the floor to catch this horizontal line right here. That's the biggest advantage of a 4-plane laser between a 4 and a 3. However, again, it does come in at a bigger size, because right there is my other Sigman as well. So you do have the remote control that you can operate this from. It has a power button on here. If you press and hold it, it never turns it off. I haven't found any remote controls that really turn off the unit itself. It kind of stays on, but you can basically cycle through the brightness and go to dim. Right there's the dimmest, or there's actually pulsing if you want to be able to see a little bit easier. And then there's the brightest, so you can adjust the brightness. Or I can go and turn off horizontal lines, turn them back on, turn off vertical lines, turn them back on. It's just a matter of cycling through that way. So that's one way that you can control it. The other way is up here on the top. I have an H and a V, and then also this button in the middle, that on and off button, that's actually what controls the brightness. Let me turn these all back on so I can adjust that. So that was the same as me hitting the brightness button here on the remote. I can adjust it right here from the unit. Right now I'm in strobe. Then there's the brightest, and then it's going to get a little bit dimmer as I go back to strobe. And then I can also, again, turn off horizontal and vertical. So essentially you got an H and a V on the unit, just the same as what you have on the remote control that you can control it with. So that's another way that you can control it. Remote control also here. And then they also have a Sigman app. If I open up the Sigman app here on this phone, I'll have to wait for it to connect probably. Might even have to go back. Let me go to home, remote control, connect to the S02, and then now I can adjust the brightness right here from within the app. I can also turn on the verticals, the horizontals, and all those things, vertical 1, vertical 2, horizontal. This one's actually a little bit easier because I can turn on bottom horizontal, top horizontal. Instead of cycling through, I can actually pick which ones I want. So you can also control it in the app as well. If you don't have the remote on you and you've got that app on your phone, you could use it for that. One nice feature that I like about the Sigmans, or even some other ones that I reviewed that charge via this USB-C here. So I can turn this off. I can remove this battery. And let's say these batteries go bad over time. I'm sure they will. I'm sure you'll be able to find replacements. Most of these laser levels that I've had these batteries. But I don't even have a battery in there right now. I've got a USB-C right here hooked up to my Milwaukee top off. I can plug this in. Let me remove this and plug this in. So again, no battery inside of there. As you can see, I'm going to turn on the USB on my top off. It's going to turn on the Sigman right there. I can now use my laser, plugging it up to an M18 battery if I want to, use my top off, or I can plug this into a wall socket with a charging cable. So at some point in time, if your batteries are all bad, they're fully depleted, you got a little bit of job left, it's a really nice feature in my opinion that you can plug up these lasers and still put them to use. So again, 4-plane is the biggest thing on this. I'm not going to go in crazy detail about all the options of what you can do with it. I showed you what you have in the box. I mean, again, you can do anything, square, plumb, level, all those things with this. I wouldn't buy anything less than a 3-plane, and if you got the money, I'd go ahead and buy a 4-plane as well. But the only last feature that I was going to show you before we get out, and while I've got it plugged up, it also has like a leveling, like a bubble level on the top. Of course, it is self-leveling within itself as far as for those lines, like once I've got it on something semi-level, but you can also have a like bubble level sitting up here on the top as well. So pulse mode, 3-plane, 4-plane, or this one's 4-plane, 2 horizontals, 2 verticals. Control it with a remote, control it with your phone, control it from the unit, run it from a wall socket, run it from your top off, run it from the batteries. Lots of options. Comes in at $199. Again, it's very accurate as far as I've used it so far. I can't say enough about this little guy right here. I've used this an absolute ton. So Sigman Laser, also something that I got here recently. But there you go, guys. There is my tool haul from the last little bit. Again, appreciate so many of these. Thank you, Matt HMM, for sending me that SC45. We're going to see if we can get that loaded out, how I'm going to use it. Again, I'll probably do a loadout video at some point on that. I appreciate it, Robert. Thank you for showing me your fix to the stabilization on the M12 Installation Driver. I think this is a good fit for a lot of people who are running this on a workbench situation. Like maybe you do pocket hole screws and you swap back and forth all the time from your drill bit to your, square 2 driver. You can put some extra drivers on here, some extra screws. I think if you run a workbench, to be able to set it up like that and then have all that extra storage, it might be a very good fit. I appreciate it, Reller. Even though I bought those, I appreciate you making some good products. Those work out well for me. And then thanks again, Thrunite, for that flashlight, and then also Sigman for the 4-plane laser. We're going to put them to use over the course of time too. But so far, first impression, they seem just as good as anything else of theirs that I've used. So appreciate all you watching. Hope that you get something out of it. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any of these, how well you like them, so that people can hear your feedback in the comments. Or maybe you've got an alternative that you use that is something like some of these. Drop those in the comments below as well so that I can check those out. And then also someone who's looking into these can check those out as well. So appreciate you guys watching. Hope it's helpful. Stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video.